So, Ross, relegation has now been confirmed, but it's far from a negative here at Oxford City. Plenty more points to play for, starting on Good Friday against Wealdstone. It's going to be another tough game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good news, but we've been sort of battling with off-the-pitch issues, with injuries, etc. all season, and we've put in some really good performances. So naturally, yeah, it's deflating, but at the same time, we know how far we've come. We've got to look at the positives, and some of the performances this season have been really good against full-time clubs. So something we need to take a lot of positives from. A lot of points to play for. We want to finish on a high. The boys are dead keen to keep going and put in good displays. So I think that's really important for the back end of the season, is to make sure we finish the season as strong as possible. We've got some really difficult games coming up, teams in and around the playoffs, so they're going to come with its challenges as well. They're going to want to be pushing for 3 points, but at the same time, so we want to play some really good football to finish the season. So loads of positives, more positives than negatives this season, I must say. Some pretty poor decisions in there from referees, but that's football. But yeah, really important we look at the positive this season, because there's many of them.
You mentioned going forward. Let's skip ahead a little bit. We can still have a big say, ultimately, on the direction of the National League. I mean, we've got Wealdstone who's still fighting for survival, but then after that, it's teams that are fighting for the playoffs and the various positions in that top 7. We could be the spoilers, really. Is that the aim, just to kind of upset the apple cart, or is it more on task on ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, it's you don't want to give anyone easy points or easy games, so we'll do what we can to put up a good fight and a good battle. If we disrupt the top boys, then we disrupt them. That's football. We've had some really good games against some of those boys already, so we look forward to them, definitely. But I think the most important thing is the performances we're looking for. We want boys to play well, to come out of their shells and have no fear, because the results are the results. What's happened, relegation has happened. We want to plan for the future in the next few years, whether that's 3, 4, 5, 6 years to come. But it's important the boys, put in a real good effort. And if that's to spoil someone's occasion, then that's to spoil someone's occasion. That's football. So we'll do what we can to try and win the game and try and get 3 points. Our season's not done. We've got a lot to play for, a lot of pride, and a lot of things we want to see tactically from our boys as well. And I think you learn a lot about players and staff and fans when you get bad news, to see the characters come out. So we're definitely looking at the characters of players, the staff, the fans, the atmosphere. We want to see the true characters now of boys on the pitch putting real good performances in, and that starts by playing against Wealdstone. They had a difficult result against Altrincham, another part-time club. It's difficult being part-time in this league, but we need to really focus on the positives, because there's been plenty of them.
I imagine you've learned a lot about the characters of your side in training. How has it been since the game against Fylde?
Totally fine, and it's stupid to say that, because naturally you probably say there's going to be a reaction, but it hasn't. It's not been deflated. It's been bubbly. Training's been bright, enthusiasm's there, and I think I'd be probably more disappointed if it wasn't. So I think what we set here is a good environment of positive energy. If you want to be an energizer or a sapper, those sappers don't last long, so you've got to be an energizer. You've got to keep on going, because that's really important to what we're doing there. There's no time to sulk. Need to get on with it, show your true colours, and come through the back end of the season with loads of positives. And so far there's been, as I said, a lot more positives than negatives.
Friday's a really attractive game, really, between two teams that are part-time, punching above their weight, I suppose, but then two teams that like to play football on the ground and play some attractive football. Credit where credit's due to Wealdstone. They've had a little bit of upheaval after Stuart Maynard left for Notts County, but David Noble's come in and doing a really good job there. It's going to be a really tough one. What are you expecting from them, though?
We know the manager well from last season at St Albans. They might have tweaked their shape slightly or personnel, because of new manager, new ideas. I think we found out that the part-time clubs, do struggle sometimes in this league. Wealdstone have been a team that survived a few seasons now, but this season, results are not really gone their way either. So I think it's a real important game, obviously, for their survival as well. We have a part to play in everyone's survival and promotion, relegation. We can still upset some teams. So I think it's really important to forget all that sort of distractions and just play our football. They're going to come in and try and play their football. They're a good footballing team. Maynard got them set up in a good way. Yes, they tweaked some things and made some changes, but at the same time we need to prepare. It's a National League game and National League games are tough, so whoever the opponent come into our place, we want to play our brand of football and try and take the game to them. We've done that many times this season against really good opposition, so we looked at it again Friday.
Final one from me, the club celebrating Family Day on Friday. Good opportunity for a lot of youngsters and kids to come along to the match. Hopefully there's a really good atmosphere for them as well, and I think the players have done their best to run through brick walls, and hopefully the atmosphere is going to follow. How important is that for you that the team put on a show on an occasion such as that?
Yeah, I think the fan base is something we need to support ourselves on the pitch, appreciate and praise as well, because they've been travelling up and down the country with us. At home, I think it's not an uncommon saying, the 13th man. I've said it this season, we've been to really harsh environments in terms of strong fan bases, and we've really felt the difference when you go to those sort of clubs who have a big backing and a big support and a loud crowd. So we want to try and replicate that here. So I think the next, part of the plan over the next few years is to develop our fan base even more, try and attract more fans and people to come and support us, because when they get right behind us, it's a real boost. So yeah, obviously the relegation is a relegation. I don't want anyone to be flat or upset. There's a lot worse things in life that can happen, but at the same time, we need to get back behind the boys and show the support off the pitch, because the boys will do everything possible on the pitch to try and get a result.
Ross, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.